Alright guys, hi, this is Miss Miller's art class, and I'm going to show you how to make a sketchbook today. When we're done, it'll look about like this. So I'm going to show you the tools that you need to do that, and before I show you the tools and how to do it, I'm going to tell you why we're doing it. So when you look at your Art Bingo card, you're going to see that there is a sketchbook. Sketchbook you can do in two different ways. One is just draw on your sketchbook and then mark off the sketchbook one, or you can create a sketchbook so that you have a sketchbook to make all the other art in and mark off sketchbook because you created your own. You can also get credit for making a sketchbook if you already have one and you already use your sketchbook area in the Art Bingo. You can actually get extra credit for creating a sketchbook. So that would be 20 extra points, just like the portfolio that we did. So now that you know how and why I'm showing you guys how to do a sketchbook, I'm going to go over the tools that you need to create it. This should mostly be stuff that you have at home. Most homes will have this. Now, one is tape, but a specific kind of tape. So you may or may not have this. You need a thick tape that is wide, and this is packing tape, so it's about 2 inches, maybe roughly 2 inches wide. See, the tape is that wide across, and you'll see why we need that in a little bit. Regular Scotch tape, that's that thin kind of almost sort of clear or whitish tape, that does not work. It's not big enough and it's not sticky enough. Another tape that will work is duct tape that is usually wide and gray and very, very sticky. Or sometimes you can go to Walmart or Target and find nice bright colors of that kind of tape too. That will also work because it's sticky and it's wide, like this. Like this. Okay. Something else you'll need is a stapler. This one's really small, but it works pretty good, so I'm going to use this one. Something to write with, a pen or pencil will work. Something that has a straight edge. A ruler is perfect for this. And then you'll need some string. This is kind of optional. It's the very last step. We'll see how that goes. And then you need something to cut with. So something to cut with could be, of course, a pair of scissors. No, none of those little kitty scissors because they're not going to cut through the cardboard. A nice big pair of adult scissors if you're allowed to use scissors. But this is middle school, so you should probably be allowed to use scissors. Another thing that you can use to cut with is an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. So I keep a little eraser on the end of my X-Acto knife because this is very, very sharp. Okay, you can see the blade there shining in the light. It's very, very sharp. So I'm going to keep that on there until I'm ready to use it. This is called an X-Acto knife, or you might have a box cutter. Only use this or a box cutter if you're allowed to. If you're not allowed to, then get out a big pair of scissors. Alright, something else you're going to need to create your sketchbook is paper. The best paper to use is white paper. I don't like art that is created on paper that you're supposed to be writing on. Okay, so you're going to need white paper. This is just copy paper from my trusty old printer. Nothing special, just white paper. If you have watercolor paper, that works great too. It might be a little hard to staple through because it's really thick. If you only have lined paper that you're supposed to write on, you can use that. It's just not the ideal type. You want white paper so that it's only your art on this thing instead of, blue lines or any of that other stuff, okay? White paper is good for art paper. Again, you'll need cardboard because this is what we're going to make today. See that? And so cardboard is always something that is laying around the house, especially these days. People are ordering stuff on Amazon and we get cardboard all the time these days. So this is just from a box that was laying around. If you have a box laying around and you want to use the flaps, just the flaps on the edge, you can just cut those off. That's really easy. This one was one big flat piece that I had, and I'm folding it in half so that I can cut it easier, and I'll cut it nice and straight. So I'm just going to start with that, okay? So when I use my razor blade, I'm not going to be on the end of this. I'm not right here. My body is this way because I don't want to cut toward myself, and I don't want to cut toward my hand, okay? So if you're cutting cardboard at any point in time during this process, do not cut toward your hand or toward your body. So over here, see where my hand is? There's nothing over here. My body is over here. So I'm just going to cut this. I know there's tape on it and it's not pretty, but that's what we got. That's what we got. So I cut on one side. It didn't go all the way through, so I'm going to cut on the other side, right down where I had it folded. All right, good. Okay, now I've got two pieces. So that's going to be easier to work with, and you're going to be able to see it better that way. So I'm going to put this to the side, and we'll cut that down in a minute, and I'll show you why you have to wait. Get your paper, whether it's lined paper or white copy paper, whatever you have is okay. You're going to tap it like this and make sure that all the corners are lined up. This is 10 sheets of paper. Then I'm very carefully going to start to fold it over. I'm going to line it up on the edges. See how I'm lined up here? It's not like this or like this. I'm lining it up perfectly. And I'm going to slide it up to meet the corners. You don't want this all offset and wonky. You want it nice and straight. I'm going to hold that side down, and then I'm going to push on the creased edge. So this is the folded edge right here. I'm going to take something flat. It can be a ruler or even a stapler. Either thing should work. Maybe even the edge of your scissors. But I'm just going to push that crease down nice and tight. Okay, so this is the side that does not open. This side opens. These will be your pages for your sketchbook. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to push hard, going both directions. Okay, so now we've got this going on both directions. Line it up again, make sure those corners didn't move. You want a nice perfect rectangle, okay? It's not all offset and weird and wonky. It's nice rectangle. Then you are going to take your stapler and you are going to do 3 staples, one on the end, one in the middle, one on the other end. If you want to make sure you do it nice and straight, you can get out something straight or a ruler. Line it up kind of close to the edge, not too close, but kind of close. This is about a centimeter from the edge, or about 1/4 inch roughly. Now I'm going to make a line, and this line is going to help me know where to put my staples. I'm going to put one right in the middle at first, line it up with that line I made. Okay, notice how I used my stapler. I did not punch it. I did not slap it. I am going to very deliberately line it up on the corner here. Now that I'm doing the corner one, not too close to the edge, I'm going to push down with my palm, and you heard all of those crunches. Those are good sounds. That means your stapler went all the way through. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Line it up with the other ones, push it down deliberately, slowly, and strong. I'm using my shoulder and I'm using the palm of my hand. Okay, that one didn't go as well. You could hear it. It didn't work as well. So I'm going to try it again. This is a lot of paper. If that happens, you can just pull them out. It's not the end of the world. Maybe I need to take this and flatten out that corner a little bit more. Alright, let's try it again. Let's see if that helped. Pushing down hard. Oh, you could hear it pop that time. That was much better. Much, much better. Okay, so now we have 3 staples in. One in the middle, one on the top, one on the bottom. You actually need 5. That's 5 staples. So 3 on one side, flip it over on the same side as those staples, so you can see how they folded over here. Now you're going to do that side in between each one. So there's one here and here, here and here. So I'm going to put a new staple here and here. So you just need 2 more. 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, good. You can really hear the crunch on that one. Good, you can hear the crunch on that one too. Perfect. So now you've got 5 staples. You've got a nice crisp edge on here that we pushed down so it's nice and flat. Next, we are going to measure out our cardboard. So I'm going to grab one of my cardboard flaps here. I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to just kind of eyeball it, meaning I'm just going to look at it to measure. There's about a 1/2 inch here, maybe a 1/4 of an inch here. We're going to actually cut some of this off on the side, and we're going to cut a little bit of this off on the side. So you want your paper to be on the inside of cardboard all the way around, okay? So you're not going to go up like this on a corner because you want the cardboard to protect the paper on the inside. So you need a little bit of cardboard all the way around. So I'm going to get my pencil or pen or marker, whatever you're using, and I'm going to use something straight. In my case, I have a ruler. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to make sure that these are parallel. That means this line and this right here are not going to cross or be like this, no angles, just nice and straight across. And I have about a 1/4 of an inch from the paper to the ruler. And I'm going to hold that down so it doesn't move. I'm going to make my line, very nice. And then I'm going to make a line on this side. I don't need this much over here, it's a little excess. So I'm going to line up this also parallel with this. So again, no angles, just nice and straight. Okay, so this is going to be perfect to fit these pages inside of there. You don't have to measure this twice. I'll show you how to do the other one. So I can remove my paper. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. Remember, my body, you can't see me, but I'm over here. Over here is just air. I'm not going to put my hand here and cut myself. I'm going to put my hand over here to the side. So my body is this way, and where the razor blade is going to be completely over here to my right and in here in the air. Now make sure there's no one standing here. Make sure there's no children here, no pets here. If you've got a nosy dog, make sure his nose is nowhere near your scissors or blade right now, okay? So if you need, you can take your scissors and you can just cut along these lines right now. If you have scissors, cut along this line and this line, so you'll only have this area left. If you're using something like a razor blade or a box cutter, do not do this on your mom's table. Do this on maybe on the floor or put some cardboard down underneath. All of that is fine, but do not do it on your mom's table. This is an old art table, so I feel fine cutting this. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to start up here. Again, my hand is not in the way at all. I have firm pressure. I'm cutting it all the way through, and then I'm going to stop. Again, this is not cutting toward my body. My body is over here. There's nothing over here. No dogs, no people, no pets, no, not your stomach, not your hands. Okay, so it might not have cut all the way through. That's okay. Fold it, flip it over. And along that edge that you can see where it folded, see that? You're just going to take your X-Acto knife, cut along there, get rid of your excess. I'm going to cut along this line here. Boom. Goodbye excess. Now you want these to be the same exact size. So you are going to line up 2 corners, or 1 corner actually. I'm going to put this right up here, line it up. I'm going to get my pencil, marker, or pen, and I'm just going to draw around it and then cut it out so that this other side is the exact same size. So I'm going to draw along that one and that one. There you go. Now you got to cut it out. didn't quite go all the way through. And the last one is this side here. Yay. Okay. So at least for now I'm done with this razor blade, so I'm very safely going to put my little eraser back on the tip so I don't hurt myself, and I'm going to put it away. So now you've got the outside of your book, which is very exciting. Now we're going to use our big fat tape, okay? It can be duct tape or it can be this clear packing tape. This is the same tape. If you just moved recently, you should probably have this at your house. Or if your parents mail stuff out in the mail, sometimes they might have this as well. So this edge is a little wonky. Normally I would put that on the inside, but I want you guys to see how to make this nice and straight. So I'm actually going to flip it over. So what you want to do is line these up so that they're not angled. Again, parallel. Everything that is parallel is like a cube or a square, okay? So we're not doing anything funky. We don't have any weird shapes going on. This is just another rectangle and a rectangle and a rectangle, okay? So you're going to line these two up. These are the outside of your sketchbook. These are what is taking care of your paper on the inside. Line them up. Don't let them touch because then they won't close. So you need to have about 1 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch space in between. Make sure they're nice and straight. You don't want it like this because then your book is going to be real weird. Line it up as straight as you can. Okay, so parallel means they don't cross. Now you're going to take your big tape, and I'm going to make tabs. We're going to hear the word tab, I think, 4 times. So here's the first tab. I put it here on the edge. I'm actually attaching it to the table there. Then I'm going to hold my book pieces in place, pull this down, make sure it's still nice and straight. I don't want these to be offset too much. Now we'll go with it. Don't let them move. If they move, redo it. I'm not trying to tell you this is easy because I'm having a hard time right now too. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Don't let them move. Hold them in place. Smooth them out. Push down any bubbles you might have gotten. And now you're going to have another tab at the bottom. Okay. Whew, that worked out. So here is my tab. It's clear tape, so it's hard to see, but you can see the shine. Fold it over. And then fold that side over. So we folded over our tabs. That's one side. We're going to do this one more time. So I'm going to flip it over, and this is all tacky. You can hear that be all sticky. So you got to cover that up so that your things don't get stuck in here like dog hair and cat hair and paper and all kinds of stuff. So you're going to make another tab at the top and the bottom. Here is my tab. This side should be easier because they're already attached. Okay, push it down, pick it up, fold over your tab, one on each side. Perfect. So we'll come back to those tabs. We'll hear about those tabs again. Now you've got the outside of your book, and it's actually starting to look like something. How super cool is that? It's so exciting. So there's a little bit of space in between these because that's where your pages are going to go. So now I'm going to get my pages. I'm going to line them up on the side. And it can't be too close to in here or it won't really shut well. But leave it a little bit of cardboard room right here. And then there should be room on the top, the side, and the bottom. So make sure it's not angled. Okay, this is a no-no. Make sure it is parallel on all the sides. You want nice straight paper so it looks nice. Okay, beautiful. I'll just leave it right like that. Again, we're going to make tabs. Remember I said tabs would come back? Well, tabs are back. I'm going to get my tape. I'm going to make my little tab. And where I am putting the tape is it covers all of your staples and a little bit more. Okay, so you're going to cover up your staples. Going to make your tabs, and before you pick it up and start moving it around, you want to push the tape down onto over top of those staples and a little bit of the paper. And the reason you want to make sure that you have that done is sometimes the staples can be kind of stabby, and you don't want to ever get cut by your own sketchbook. So we're covering up the staples with the tape. And also, this is what keeps your pages inside, okay? So now that I've pushed it down and I know my staples are covered and they're not going to stab me, I pick them up and I fold over my tabs. And we're getting really close to this being finished. So now I'm carefully, watch how I do this. I put my thumbs here along the edge where I just added that tape. And I'm going to fold over carefully my pages. You don't want them to fall out. And now you've got staples on this side, and you know, I already snagged my finger on it, so I want you to cover that up with tape as well. But you're also going to create the tabs on the top and the bottom. I told you that tabs will come back 4 times. So make sure when you put this tape on, it covers those staples, okay? So you want it to cover the staple, but not too far, because then that ruins all your paper. You won't be able to open your book. So I got my tape. I'm going to start to line it up before I even create my tab. I'm going to put it just over all of my staples. So you're covering about 1 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch of your paper, covering up these staples. So my paper, or my tape ends right about here, covering up that whole staple, and now the staples can't hurt me. Okay, if you've ever been snagged by a staple, you know what I mean, and it hurts. So push this tape down. Make sure it's really secure because you don't want your paper to fall out. Pick it up, fold over your tabs, fold your paper back over. Awesome. There you go. If you have like gross tape on your sketchbook like I do, try to take it off because we're going to decorate these. Okay, that looks better already. If you have, you know, little dog-eared edges, cut those off so it looks nice. The razor blade would work for this too. But you want this to look nice. This is your new sketchbook. Alright, so now books usually open from right and then opening up to the left. That's usually how books open, okay? So just so that it doesn't feel weird or backwards, because that feels like I'm opening up a book backwards. Unless you're left-handed, I guess maybe it might work the other way, I don't know. But I'm using my left hand right now to open up my book and then sketch in here on the right side. That usually works for right-handed people. If you're left-handed, you can try to flip everything the other way with the same exact process. So the very last thing I'm going to do, this book actually shuts really well because I left a lot of space in between. But I'm just going to show you this one last thing. I'll do it on this one because this one doesn't shut as well. This one, look at that. Look at how open it is, and it's kind of annoying. Yours might even be worse. It could be, you know, this far open. So I'm going to show you what to do. Get your scissors, open them up. Do not grab it like this because you're going to hurt yourself. And I want you to, just about in the middle, you can mark off, and it doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, but if you have a ruler, go ahead and measure it. Make a little dot. Make sure it's not too close to the edge or you'll rip a hole in the side. But also make sure that your paper isn't going to get stabbed by your scissors. So it's kind of a fine balance. This part is optional. You do not have to do this, but it is nice to have in case your book doesn't close very well. So I'm going to open up my scissors, and that little dot I made, I'm going to stab in there. And I'm being very careful. Okay, I went all the way through. See that? The scissors went all the way through. And I'm going to turn my scissors around in a circle. Okay, so it goes all the way through. Look at that. Boom. And I'm actually going to go through the other side too, so it makes a nicer hole on that side. Okay, perfect. Now this is where that string comes in, and remember this is optional. You're going to tie a string to each hole And that way you can tie the strings together and keep it shut. So I'm going to pop it through there. One side's going to remain long, one side's going to be a little bit shorter. The long side is so that you can tie it to the other one. This is going to take me forever because my nails are too long. You need to tie this 3 times. Remember, one side is long and one side is short because you're going to need one side to be kind of long to tie to the other one. So do that 3 times. Here's my other one. Pop it through that hole. See that? One side's long, one side's short. I'm going to knot it 3 times. 1, 2. Oh my goodness. Someone cut my nails right now. Cut them off. Get rid of them. Alright, so if you struggle with that like I did, that's okay, it's normal. But now your book that has a hard time staying shut now has these 2 strings, just like the portfolio we did. This is why you tie it 3 times. And now you can tie it and it'll be a nice little book. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I got a piece of paper that was one of the other ones that we use like this. I cut it in half and now I'm going to grab some glue. And we're going to do this way because when you put color on brown like that, it doesn't really shine. When you put color on white, all of the color is unhindered by that dark brown color, and you get a nice bright color. So everyone has to decorate the outside of their sketchbook. And if you add any kind of color to that, this is going to help a lot. So I just have, this is glue. So it might look different or special, but really this is just tacky glue. And you can probably use your glue stick or other Elmer's glue, white glue. That's all fine. I'm using a paintbrush and tacky glue, which is like Elmer's glue but extra strong. And I'm going to put on my white piece of paper. And now I can decorate the front of it and it'll look really nice and brightly colored, and it's going to be very exciting to start when that glue is dry. And I want you to do both sides. So you're going to cut that piece of paper in half anyways, so go ahead and do the other side too. And that is your sketchbook. Yay!